I am a lifelong Fairfax County resident. I was born in Fort Belvoir, Virginia. My dad was in the Army, retired, and we settled down in Lorton and pretty much lived in Northern Virginia my whole life. I do have a son, Bobby. He is 25 now. He was your typical boy, just out of control, very energetic, wanted to play all the time, was really good at baseball and basketball. A couple of years before his arrest, he started experiencing depression and anxiety. He developed a little issue with an issue with Xanax. I guess about 6 months before his arrest, he got into those fake Percocets that are going around that's got fentanyl in it. And he said the second time he did that, he was 100% completely addicted and didn't care about anything but that. When he was sober, he would say good things to you, and you're like, okay, he's got it figured out, you know. And we didn't totally know exactly what he was into. We didn't know about fentanyl and all that stuff at that time, and it just ate him up, and he turned into this monster. It was just the craziest thing in the world. He was buying 10 pills of fentanyl and then selling 5 of them to make his 10 pills free. And that's how he got caught. That's how he got arrested and everything. I was actually out of town. I travel a lot for work and stuff like that, and I got a phone call from him saying that he got arrested the night before. It was almost, I was afraid of a lifelong prison thing, but I also had a little bit of relief because I was less worried about him dying all of a sudden, you know, because before that, I was waiting to get a really bad phone call, and that never happened. So it was kind of a bittersweet thing. So Bobby got a lawyer. She, I think, introduced this program somehow, and at the time, we thought it was just like a thing that everybody did, you know, and we kind of went along with it. But apparently, it was the first time anybody got to do that kind of thing. So he was very afraid because the structure was completely the opposite of what he has been doing for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. The fastest a person can do it is 15 months. It took Bobby 16 months. It was intense, like super, like it was so, there was times where he got frustrated. When he was looking down the road, he was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this for 15 months. Because especially at the beginning, the first 2 steps, it is super, super, super intense. You know, you call him for the drug test, and it's every single day. You're going in 4 times a week, and it was random. They require you to have a job, and it's hard to find a job where your boss is okay with you just jetting in the middle of the day to go take a drug test. He got lucky that a friend of ours helped him out with a job. Well, but as he got closer, as he started getting to like step 2, like getting ready to go from 2 to 3, he started getting a little bit more energetic. At first, it was more like task, which was what he needed at the time. So it was a whole bunch of tasks, and he was looking way down the road. So it was just like, oh my God, I don't know if I could ever finish this thing, kind of thing. But once he got like from 2 to 3, he started getting into it, and he really started like embracing it and living it, and that's when it started changing his life. Had he not gotten into the program, yeah, I hate to even think about what would have happened, because he would have been convicted of at least 1 felony, a serious felony charge. He would have probably went to like state penitentiary for at least a year, maybe 2, and then his future going forward with a felony over his head, not being able to get jobs like he wants to, you know, passport's an issue, voting is an issue, so it completely changed everything. It turned a very dire situation into something there was opportunity, and he was excited, and we were all like, oh my God, like he's going to be a normal person again. It's great, you know. So it was huge. But had he not gotten into the program, I'm afraid to even think it. I would have nightmares thinking about it. But when it was one of the best moments of my life, you know. When like we know that he can move forward with his life and stuff. So it was wonderful. I think it's revolutionary because I think our country's already proven before that the war on drugs in the 80s and 90s, it just didn't work. You can't just lock people in jail forever and think that the problem's gonna go away. You have to think outside the box. There's so much of this going on that you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. And this country's done that for decades. So, like I said, he's, the adulting is an interesting thing for us, what he calls it, adulting. He's like, oh my God, I work all the time and, I'm tired and then I pay my bills and I'm broke. It's interesting. He's got a life now. He's like building something. He's really into music. He does, I guess, a hip hop rap kind of thing. And it's interesting how his music has changed since this. So it's a lot more positive and upbeat kind of stuff. So it's really cool. The experience as a whole was a great experience, but as we were going through it, it was awful, So I really want to reiterate that when someone gets into a program like this, they're not being let off. What's the difference? You locked my son up for 2 years, and he comes out and he has no future because he's got a felony conviction, or he busts his ass for 17 months, 16 months, and learns lessons, and it changes his life in a very positive way. And not just him, but all of us, Like, people whose families, they deal with addiction and stuff, you're always waiting for something to happen, You're like just sitting there, like you're never relaxed. You're always, something's going to happen sooner or later. Like it's scary and it's an awful feeling, and it's gone now, so.